This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by Impix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. On One Software, focused on photography. Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, rogue flash benders for speedlight enthusiasts. Intel, the power you need for hardcore creatives. Squarespace, everything you need to create an exceptional photography website. And B&H Photo, the professional source.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another live episode of The Grid. And I don't know what to say after that. Hey, welcome everybody. Scott Kelby here. Joining me, filling in for Mr. Matt Kluskowski is my buddy R.C. Concepcion.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing?
Thanks for filling in here in the last minute.
Not a problem. It's actually good to see you. Like, I'm sitting there. I haven't seen you in like a month.
You know, I've been in one long meeting, dude. Every day is just a big, long meeting. I've had a little bit of travel, but you've been traveling too. You were gone the whole month of June.
Yeah.
You were like gone. So
it was just in and out.
It was you.
It was one of those things where people were like,
"It's not me, it's you."
Wow, you went there. You went there.
I went there. Hey,
no, but it's one of the, I just got back. And I'm like, dude, I haven't seen Scott. I like knock in your office. I'm like, he's not here.
You were everywhere.
Yeah, it was good.
You had vacation though too.
No. Oh yeah, I had 3 days of vacation. It was good. I went to Sarasota. I hung out.
Dude, you don't have 3 days of vacation coming.
Yeah. Wow. You
went,
can't see the shackle. There's like
there.
A ball and a shackle.
There really is. Hey, just want to tell you real quick, we do have a great guest today. Anna Nguyen's going to be here, but we're broadcasting from Tampa, Florida, which is where our home offices are. It is storming here like a real bad storm with water and everything.
Hurricane capital of the world.
Yeah. So Anna is running very late. She was driving in from, I think, Abilene, Texas? No. She was driving somewhere here in Florida. Naples, could be Pensacola, I'm not sure. But she's very late, and don't worry, we're going to give her tremendous heat when she arrives.
Nice.
A couple of things before she gets here. First, Dave Black. We released a new class from Dave Black today. How cool is Dave Black, RC?
He is very, very cool.
That's all you got is Dave Black.
I'm sorry. Yes. You know what? Dave Black is one of those guys, and I'm just, kid you not, at Photoshop World, he did this one presentation where he was talking about the Olympic. You ever seen his Olympic? You've seen it.
I've seen his Olympic. I love his Olympic
There's this
stuff.
Olympic presentation that he does where everybody turns around and when they show their pictures, it's like, I think everybody cheats, right? What happens is when you show a picture slideshow, not you, obviously, because he signs the check. But
there you go. I'm going to say, what's he going to say?
No, but what happens is when people do slideshows, it's like image, and you have this like nice piece of music that does that, and then it's like wait for it, boom, the next image. He's one of those guys where he had this music and it was like boom, 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 and every image that was on that beat was an image that made you want to throw away your camera.
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal photographer. So watching that presentation, I was just like, dude, what's the point? Why do I even shoot?
I know he is. He's insane. What does Bobblehead RC think?
Oh, Bobblehead RC, what do you think about it? I think it's a great idea.
He agrees. Bobblehead RC is all in.
He's
so
there we go.
This is the weirdest thing, but about once every 2 weeks, RC pays to have another bobblehead of himself made. It's creepy. He has about 70 of them in his office.
Now, so I'll tell you the real story about it so that people don't think that I'm narcissistic. These sandals are the sandals of my people. Right there. No, when I first got this job, when I first came down here to work as one of the Photoshop guys, I went back up to New York, and my brother Carlos had me over to his house, and he was just like, so happy for me and all that. And then he's like, in the middle of this party, he grabs me and he's like, dude, I need you to come over here. And he's like, stand against that wall. And he's like, psh. And took a picture of him in the front. And he's like, turn sideways.
Did he hold a thing with numbers on it?
No, not this time. But then all of a sudden he turned me over to the left. He's like, turn sideways, and he took a picture. And I was like, what for? He was like, I'm just putting together this thing. And he never really told me about it. And like 4 months later, he's like, you ever see The Office where like Dwight has his own bobblehead? It's one of the few gifts that I've gotten from my family where they were just like, we're congratulations for making it. And he was like,
that's cute.
For coming over here, he was just like, I wanted to make a bobblehead for you.
Now you have one brother?
No, I have 7.
He has many brothers.
6. I'm one of 7.
Jesus?
Jesus.
Carlos?
Tito.
Caraccio?
Chachakio.
Chachakio? No.
No. So it's Tito, which is Augusto. Chachakio, where Chachakio came from.
Chachakio.
It's Augusto, who's the youngest. Then I'm second youngest. And then after that, it's Carlos. And then it's Jesus. And then after that is Dave, whose real name is Lewardo.
Of course.
And then after that, we have Tony. But Tony's
Who's Italian,
real name,
the unusual Italian
but
brother.
Tony's real name
Antonio.
is Everardo, that's where Chachakio came from.
Chachakio.
And then Victor.
All right. So can I tell you something real quick? When you're tuning into the grid and what you're watching is RC naming his brothers, you know our guest is stuck in the rain. Because that's just like, what are they doing? All right. So Dave Black's class. Go check it out on Kelby Training. Dave is amazing. His class is it's an interview with him about how to make a living as a sports photographer. It's not easy, but Dave really gives wonderful pointers. Yeah. And Dave's just amazing. Secondly is my sports photography beginners class went live.
And that's one of the things that I like about what we're doing on the Kelby Training site. Dave Black is one of those people, it's like you got to get to him. Like sometimes it's good for inspiration, but if you're just picking up a camera and you're like, I don't know, the first thing about how to do this, I want to show my kid, I want to show high school, and all that kind of stuff. I feel like you need to kind of get on there and do that, and that class is for you. So you could start off by looking at this kind of stuff and then kind of move into inspiration stuff with Dave Black.
It's part of our whole beginner start here thing. Anyway, if you're on Kelby Training, go check it out. If you're not on Kelby Training, go check it out anyway. Oh, there it is. That's it, my beginner sports photography thing.
That looks very
and you know what? It looks
ESPN-y.
very much like I'm wearing the same coat because, I only have 3 coats. All right. Hey, my wife is here on the set, and I'm just going to give her a little private note. Hi, sweetie. Hey, hon, I'm going to need some more coats. Okay.
Can I have a coat too?
Hey, also, I'm coming. I got some live tour dates. You do not get a coat.
Sorry.
You have a bobblehead. I have no bobblehead.
Chachakio approved.
Chachakio approved. Okay. So I have some new tour dates. I'm coming to Colorado Springs on July 29th. It's part of my my new tour there. There it is. It's the Shoot Like a Pro tour. And I want you to come out and see me because it's a fun day of fun and learning and stuff. Then I'm going to be in San Antonio. It looks like on the 16th. I'll be in Indy, and I'll also be somewhere else.
Colorado Springs.
There it is, San Jose.
Ooh, yes, San Jose, home of Adobe.
San Jose, yeah, home of Adobe. Adobe's headquarters there. It's weird to be in Adobe's headquarters. I'm not teaching any Photoshop because it's Shoot Like a Pro.
Right. Not process
like a pro.
That's anyway, my tour.
But I hope you check it out. Go to Kelby Training Live, and it'll be lots of fun. All right, what else? Hey, if you're going to Photoshop World, that's coming up in 2 months.
Right.
Going to Photoshop World. Portfolio reviews. I've had so many people email us here because we do those blind reviews, which are coming up
next week.
No, it wouldn't be next. We do a mid-month. I think it's week after next.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's not next week. Wait, Sunday's the 7th. Hey, yeah, it would. I think it would be the following week. I could be wrong, but I think it's the following week. We do blind reviews. Everybody goes, how can I get a one-on-one review? Photoshop World is the place. I mean, you can have your portfolio reviewed. I was looking for portfolio review pictures today, and in one picture there was Moose Peterson at one table doing a review. There was Burt Monroy doing a review on another table. Vincent Versace doing another one. It's like you're getting right one-on-one with the instructors, and it's just you and them.
God, Kelby, this must cost a fortune.
It does. But anyway, no. Actually, we're charging this year. You know why? Here's why we're charging. Because we need money. No, we're charging because people would make an appointment and then not show. And you only have a certain number of time. We do it one day. It's a whole day. We do it all day long.
Okay.
But people wouldn't show. And so I think we charge, it's next to nothing. It's like $1,200. No, I think it's like $25 or something. It's very inexpensive. But if you put $25 into it, you actually show. But if you just have to write it on a piece of paper, yeah, I'm coming.
And people are like,
yeah. And there were people that were dying to get into those reviews that didn't get one because someone, didn't show for their thing.
Really?
So yeah, you have to put a few bucks in it and then people will do it. Hey, prizes, we got some giveaways real quick. We're stalling because Anna's not here, but she will be here. But this is my refresh of my book, the Digital Photography Book, Volume 1. So it was originally written in 2006.
Right.
I went and refreshed it. It's refreshable. And it's the
sentimental book for me.
It's a sentimental book for you because what?
Because I brought this book to you when I started working here, and I was just like, hey, Scott, will you sign my book? And you're like, no, dude, come on. And I was like, dude, sign my book. And he's like, no. I'm like, dude, sign my book. And so then he opened it up and he wrote, RC, I will not sign your book. Scott.
That's right, I did right there. Anyway, so we're giving away that. And
The Adobe Photoshop book for digital photographers, version CS6 and CC.
Yeah.
So if you're using either CS6 or you're using the Creative Cloud.
Yeah. And what it really
What's
is the whole book is CS6. And then I added a chapter, a big, thick chapter with all the new stuff they added in CC, but just the stuff they added for photographers, because who cares what they added for graphic designers, because we're photographers.
Right.
And you're watching a photography show.
Right.
All right. Hey, coming up next, we have Anna's advice for new wedding shooters. Unless you come back from this break and we haven't moved over and there's another person sitting here,
We'll ask Chichakio.
then we'll ask Chichakio here, the Chichakio approved sign. But, ooh, is she here?
No, that's
No.
just the wind.
That's just the wind. Anyway, see what happens after this break. Anything could happen. We do have a mini topic to talk about that's causing a lot of controversy today. So we're going to talk about that. I was hoping to talk about it with Anna.
Right.
I don't have any idea what her views on the topic are, but we're hoping to talk about it. But if she doesn't show up, it's just Chichakio, me, and our CEO.
All right, just so that everybody else can just kind of now. We're also pulling double duty here, as in I'm watching your comments while we're talking about this stuff. And somebody had just said Scott's laptop looks miniature compared to RC's. Now, this is an oversized laptop. This is a gaming laptop that's actually from Razer. So this is the Razer Blade Pro laptop. So it's a 17-inch laptop. This is a regular standard laptop. So it's supposed to look a little bit bigger. It's a gaming thing. That's all.
Mine's a baby laptop.
Yeah.
It's a baby. Oh, no, she is here?
Oh, she is
She's
here.
in the
Great.
building?
Let's take a break.
All right.
We'll take a break.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, something.
Yeah.
We'll see if we're moved over.
Go
Don't away.
Chichakio.
Chichakio.
Horse racing is kind of a magical event to me, and it's like stepping back in time. There's no other sport that allows you to step back into nostalgia than horse racing. The sport has not changed in like 50 years. You get these great characters, and I tell you, there's that anticipation, that quiet time as all the horses get loaded into the gates. Then everything goes quiet across the whole track. The entire crowd is silent, and all of a sudden you hear the bells ding, and they're off. They just like charge out of there. On my next Kelby training class, we're going to be going to the racetrack, photographing horse racing. It's going to be great. We're going to be covering pan action, stop action. We're even going to be using remote control cameras. Be taking in an entire documentary of horse racing, from horses training early in the morning, beautiful shafts of light across the track that they come through, to the thunder at the finish line. I mean, we're going to cover all that on this video. I hope you join me then.
I can't wait to do this again.
Hey, we're back. Good news. Anna's here. Yay!
Chichakio, go away.
All right, so everybody, so this is Anna Nguyen. She is a very, very awesome wedding photographer, and she's a very awesome person. She's also one of the co-hosts of the Pinterest show.
Yes.
And you also do some very interesting projects on that show.
I'm not allowed to play with sharp objects or fire anymore.
She's in charge of the
Anymore.
do-it-yourself segment of the show, and it airs every other Thursday, all right, on Google Plus. And your projects are, it's worth watching the show just to see what happens. But can I tell you something? I'm amazed at how good they come out.
You know, it's hard. Your wife heckles me all the time.
She doesn't make it easy. She does a little bit. Anyway,
She heard you.
yeah,
I don't know if you guys heard
you
the
probably
storm.
heard it's thundering and lightning here, which is why Anna showed up late.
You know, my poor boyfriend, I made him drive. I'm like, hurry up, because I can only drive as fast as traffic will go. I'm like, I've never dealt with this much rain in Florida.
It's crazy out there. It's ludicrous, but it's okay. We're glad you're here,
Yep.
and we're going to talk about wedding stuff in just a minute. But so you'll have a moment to, because we're going to talk about Matt first, and that's always a good topic.
I love talking about Matt.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love talking about Matt?
Where is
I'm actually
Matt?
going to switch it. Matt just like again took the day off. Matt's
Xbox.
job apparently is days off at this point because I haven't seen the guy. Look, he went to Norway, then he went to like a week out in Seattle, and then he came back and he took more days off, and he's off today. I think he must get like 1,200 PTO days a year. So I'm not even sure that he actually does work. But you know, somebody asked me yesterday. So they said, "Does Matt Kloskowski work with you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "But does he work like in your office?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they go, "So he comes in here?" Yes. He's like every day. Hi, RC. Hi, everybody. He has his lunchbox.
Yeah,
Right. His
he
little-
does.
his
That
metal-
little pink one
Little
that he
pink
uses. I think
lunchbox.
it's so
It's pink,
funny.
it's metal, and it's got
always eating
Hello
chicken
Kitty,
soup right in the
the
front.
Hello Kitty thing's got the chicken soup. You always see him in there making his soup.
Does Matt have kids? Because I'm starting to think he may have mixed up his lunch.
No.
His-
He
does?
No. He does. His
does,
kids
but
use
that's
actually
just-
the original thermos one.
Yeah. No.
It's
he
very,
does.
it's a very uncomfortable
Oh.
conversation we've had it with him.
Yeah,
all the time.
it's awkward. Anyway, so let me tell you about what's going on over at Matt's website that's got everybody angry today, and I think it's for no reason, but well, there is a reason. But so Matt wrote a really great post. If you've never been to Matt's site, lightroomkillertips.com, right? So and here's his site. I'm just going to scroll up so you can see it. So it's all cool, right? All right. So you go down here, and he wrote 5 Lightroom organizing mistakes and how to avoid them. Now, Matt runs like the biggest traffic Lightroom site anywhere. He's out on the Lightroom tour. You know, he's an alpha tester. He's a beta tester. He works with Adobe and all this stuff. And Matt's very practical, and he teaches it in a very practical way. And so Matt is talking about, you know, one of the biggest questions I get about Lightroom is how to organize your photos. And he's on this, you know, nationwide tour. He said one of the questions I get is about this. And so here's a few tips. He talks about organizing by date. Here's what Matt writes, and oh, poor Matt, they just destroyed him after this. I already know there's a lot of disagreement on this one. I run into so many people that organize their folders by date. For the life of me, I can't figure out why. There's no way I can remember what I shot back on April 10th just by looking at a date. And then to organize by year as well. I don't see my photography as an accounting statement. And so I want to tell you what so Matt and I were talking about this at lunch today, because he actually works here. So anyway, by the way, RC works here too.
Yeah.
But
I don't work here.
Anna does not work here. Anna you drove in from Texas, Abilene, Texas?
No, I drove in from Naples, Florida.
Okay.
I really thought it was Texas. I was gonna be like, dude, did she get like the NASA underwear, the thing with the? No, never mind. Just poor
Oh,
joke.
that's awkward.
I'm going to Texas this summer. I can bring you back some.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
We
okay.
got it.
Awkward. This awkward moment was brought to you by
Chachakio.
Chichakio. Go to chichakio.com. All right, and order one of the bobbleheads. Did you see RC's bobblehead? It's just as disturbing as
Really?
his last comment. Yeah.
Now, did you order that yourself?
No,
or-
my brother got it for me
Why
as
is
a
your
present.
face green?
Oh, okay.
It's oxidizing.
It's oxidizing?
Does that mean
Yeah.
it's supposed to be code word for tan?
Yeah.
You know, you can paint that.
Yeah, I wanted to send it back and have them just paint it. I got to figure out the website for what they do it, but it's one of those things where I like it because I figure it's like a Mexicanification of the Statue of Liberty. Right? It'll get all green, and at one point, yeah, I know. I brought up Mexican.
It's okay. You're Mexican.
Exactly.
All right, there you go. All right. Sorry, Anna.
It's
so anyway,
okay.
so here's where we are. Do you use Lightroom?
I just started.
You just started? Okay. Hey, we got some good advice for you.
Thanks.
Here we go. So I used to teach on my Lightroom tour. I used to teach people how to set up Lightroom from the very beginning, and we did all this keywording and stuff. And a guy came up to me at a seminar once years ago, and I was like, it changed the way I thought about organizing my library. And here's how I organize my library now. If I wanted to find a shot of my vacation photos from Venice, Italy, from 2012, here's what I do. I go to Lightroom. I click on 2012, travel, and Venice. And there they are. If I want to find a football game that I shot between the Bucks and Panthers, I go to 2012 or 2013. No, it would be 2012. They didn't play it. 2012, football, Bucks and Panthers.
Right.
If you have to search harder than that for your photos, you've done something horribly wrong. Here's what Matt says, I say, we all kind of agree. Name things names that make sense to you, right? Mm-hmm. So if you shoot the Johnson wedding, right?
Mm-hmm. It's actually, it'll be like a folder that says photography 2012, and then it's organized by like what it is. So it'll be like 2012 weddings, and then it'd be like Johnson wedding.
Yes,
or
you're doing
the client's name.
That's it. That's exactly right.
No, it's not.
No, because people came in and go.
Because according to the comments, people are like.
Right. They're coming in here and arguing this to death about why you should use dates and all. So here's the thing. What Matt's saying and what I'm saying and what you're doing is to keep it really, really easy. And the reason why people are coming up on the road and they're having a hard time finding their photos and organizing their images, and they're having all these problems is they didn't do it the easy way. And that's all Matt's saying here is, you know what? Just make everything really, really simple.
Now, just for those of you who don't know the easy way or the hard way, the comments that are being made for that is that there is an organizational structure that could be date-based. So it would be like 2013-06-07-C1-. So like there's this giant number that you would associate rather than Johnson wedding.
Now, if you wake up one morning and your job is at the Library of Congress, do that. Because there are probably people that have jobs to where doing it by date like that is great.
But here's my problem with this.
What is your problem? Tell me.
You could rename every folder: bacon, eggs, sausage, rhubarb. You could name whatever folder you want. If all of that stuff is being imported into Lightroom, you could always just go to the metadata tab. And in the metadata tab, if you want to find it by year, by month, by date,
it's all already there.
Just drill down by year. Go 2012.
Yeah, and Matt actually shows that. So
I know I do rename my individual files with a date in them in case I need to find them again by date.
Well, the date's already in your files, right? So when you took it with your camera, the date is already embedded.
It's embedded in the file.
Those is already embedded in the file. You don't have to re-add them. You don't have to add them to the name because it's already embedded in the file. And when you search in Lightroom, it will find by date whatever you wanted.
So in that, I think what happens is, and this is one of those things where I'll just say it.
Say it, RC.
I mean, you know what? I'm looking at the YouTube comments, and it's like everybody turns around and goes, RC, every time he says something, he sighs, and then he just makes some outlandish statement. The problem that I think that people have with this...
RC, gosh, my gosh.
All right, here we go.
This is the problem. I think that sometimes when people comment like that, because what they're doing is they're trying to make technology an excuse for actually being creative. When photographers are photographers, what happens is we get so overly obsessed about the size of the sensor, the size of the lens, the size of the distance to the sensor to the lens, the size of the buttons, the size of the measurements that you do with this. And you become so measure-baited about that because what you're doing is if you follow all of these rules, then any shot that you take is going to make you creative. And what happens is you're taking away from the fact that you can make this a lot easier and focus on being creative. People don't like hearing that. People want to hear that it's a button. They want to hear that it's a system. And that system will make you a good shot. And it's like, keep the system easy and go make a good shot.
Also, there are photographers who are engineers, and they're never going to name things travel Las Vegas because it's not in their DNA to do that. They thrive on the complexity. They really want to create a structure. I had a woman that came up to me on true story, one of my seminars, and she was telling me about this. She's spending all this time keywording every one. So for example, Anna, if you shot a wedding, she was keywording your stuff, she would go bride, bouquet, red flowers, white dress.
I'm sorry, my head just exploded.
Right, that's it. But that's what she was doing, and she's at the same time she's complaining to me about how long it's taking her to keyword every single photo from a wedding individually. And I said, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an instance where you needed, like, I've got to find a bride with red flowers in an atrium with, all these different things?
Well, if she was looking to sell stock photography,
I
would totally understand.
That's different. Absolutely. So I asked, that was the first question I asked her. I said, do you sell stock photography? And she was like, well, no, this is just for me. And I said, so why are you doing this? She goes, well, one day if I do need to find something like that, then I'll be able to go and do a search for it. And I said, let me get this straight. You're going to spend hundreds of hours all year long coding these things so that one day you can go, aha, now it all pays off. This is the day where I finally get to go, I can find that photo in 10 seconds. Find, red, bouquet, boom, there it is. And she had this look on her face.
All of my years of frustration have paid off.
Dude, that's what it was. She was really, But anyway, if you want to go read Matt's article. He's got great, really pragmatic advice for regular people. Now, if you don't agree with what he's saying, it's okay. Just stick with what you're doing. It's fine. If you want to do the date thing, if you've already done it, if you're doing a big, complicated digital asset management, but I would ask you to ask yourself, am I having a hard time finding my photos? Am I able to go into my Lightroom and go, I want to find, give me a wedding person's name, made up name.
Mitch and Jen.
If you can't find Mitch and Jen by going 2011 weddings, Mitch and Jen's wedding, you do need to start from scratch. Now, you know what you can do too? By the way, if you don't have that structure, if you really mess it all up, you can still just hit Command F on Mac or Control F and just type in Mitch and Jen's wedding, and it'll go right to there. It won't even make you go 2013 or wedding. It'll bring you up their stuff.
You know what I've did run into when I had this like convoluted system. Now it's more easy because I couldn't find anything. Was anyone who went to my computer and they said, where can I find Amy and George's photos? I'd be like, I'd tell them this, and they're like, that's so confusing. If you can't easily explain to someone how to find a photo or a folder on your computer, it's too complicated.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what? You weren't here to do Lightroom, but I'm going to give you props.
Yay!
Well done. All right. Hey, speaking of that, now, so that's all our Lightroom thing. Go to lightroomkillertips.com. Read Matt's thing. It's great stuff. And if it freaks you out, you do not have to go tell Matt why he's wrong. You don't have to send an angry note. You don't have to. You can just live your life. You can just go, okay, I'm still going to do it by date because I have a master's degree in engineering. It's okay. Now, Anna time. So Anna, before we start, can I do this? I went through your site and I picked some of my favorite shots. Can I just show a couple of your shots real quick?
You like my stuff?
I love your stuff. There's a couple of shots here that I just got to show. So let me just show them.
Do you mind if I make a shout out?
You can, of course, make a shout out.
Hi, James. Well, James.
Hi, James.
James.
Hi, James.
Hi, James.
Okay.
James.
Look, I'm teaching you guys.
Wait. James, call me.
No, don't do that. That's
Sorry.
He's my photography instructor from FGCU.
Oh, wow.
And when I told him.
That's okay. It's good.
I was like, hey, I'm on this show with Scott Kelby's wife. He goes, Moon Eyes. He's like, you are going on a show with Scott Kelby?
Yeah, it's very boring. Trust me. RC, look how excited he is.
Watch this. Oh, this is awesome.
See?
I love this
That's
place.
what it's really like. And you'll say the same thing in a few minutes. Trust me, it's like watching paint dry.
Wait, hi, James.
Hi, James. Shout out.
James.
Shout out. Peace. All right. So can we go to my screen real quick and I'll show you some of my favorite ones. Now, Anna, I'm going to tell you. I know, right? So I'm going to tell you. I picked. Now, it's weird for someone else to pick their favorite shots of your favorite shots, right?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what. This next shot, I saw it and I was like, oh, just look at this. That is such a look at the kid's expression. I love this shot.
I love that shot.
Look at the kid.
Cool.
That's just, it looks like you set him up. Come on now.
That's not a setting in a camera.
No. That's not a setting in a camera.
I think what happened was I saw him and he was talking to his mom about this cake, and I followed this blog called Moment Junkie, and I remember reading something on someone else's website, and they said, you do this long enough and you can anticipate the moment. And I said, he's going to do something, at least try to swipe frosting. And I had just aimed it right at the cake, and he did that, and it was like snap. It was like, that's it.
As soon as I saw this, I was
That's
like,
awesome.
and I'm going to send people to your site in a second, but I want to go through my favorites first. All right, love that shot. Just, it's such a real, and I even like the way there's a guy in the background like looking into what's happening and stuff. So it's almost like he made an audible sound that made the guy in the back turn. You know, it's a complex, for a very simple, clean picture. There's a complex story going on, and I love it. All right,
Thanks.
next one. This is just, I think, beautiful, classic wedding photography. I love the blown out windows. I love the moment, and their gesture is just really nice. I like the way he's leaned down to her, and I love the way the light's coming through there. I love the black and white. It was the perfect treatment.
Yeah.
For this
They
type
are
of photo.
actually a wonderful couple. Like, I love my wedding couples.
Oh yeah.
I
well,
love
you build
them.
a relationship with them, right? I mean.
Yeah, well, I do it like an interview process, and so I pick and choose my couples, and they pick and choose me.
Oh yeah.
So to me, I believe in a solid foundation of trust and friendship, because I'm going to be with my wedding couple for 8 hours a day, and I want them to feel completely comfortable with me. I want them to know that the last thing you should worry about is your wedding photography.
And I think that gives you license to kind of go out and actually, make good shots and go out there. Like when you have that kind of relationship, it kind of opens it up, and the shots that usually come out of something like that are a lot more intimate. That's what you're seeing here. You're seeing a good sense of intimacy in those shots.
Yeah, because it's so hard to work as a creative, especially in this, like, there's a lot of limitations for wedding photography because you can only do so much within their comfort zone.
Oh, yeah.
So if they completely trust you, you can go, do you trust me on this? And they go, we trust that you're going to make a fantastic photo doing whatever this weird thing you're doing with us.
Whatever this weird, awkward thing is.
I love that.
All right.
I love that.
This, I think, is just now the opening shot on your website is another balloon shot, which I thought was cool. It's a sunset balloony one.
Same couple.
I figured it was. I didn't think you just handed everybody balloons. But I love. You know what I love about this? The high.
I do hand everyone balloons.
Do you really?
Well, sometimes.
But it's
poor-
the high keyness of this I love.
There's a funny story behind this, the balloons. Poor Carrie, he was like stuck in the backseat of the car with like these 12 balloons. And he had to sit in like a far corner of the ceremony site with these balloons, because they had one guest that was allergic to latex. And like,
The old guest allergic to latex trick.
I know that one.
so poor Carrie's like in this bench off to this beach ceremony, and for 30 minutes he's like holding the balloons as there's like slight wind, and he's like trying to control them, and I don't give my boyfriend enough credit.
Well,
He's
he
a good
just did.
assistant.
He's a good
He's a
assistant.
good
But
assistant.
I like the shot. But I think this one is just adorable. Because you know what it is? You have, obviously, a pretty big, tough-looking guy. Yeah. And this looks like something you'd see in a magazine. It's like an editorial wedding shot. I mean, he's obviously a groom. But there's something about it. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I just thought... And the way he happens to be right in the window where the light's coming from behind, and it's coming through the dog. The dog's got a kicker light behind.
Right?
I love it.
It's like, what does Chichakio say? He says, I do.
I love the graininess of this shot. This looks like real film, and I don't know if it's just from pushing the ISO or you went and you added an effect later, because I mean it is black and white. I love that you see the smoke from the sparklers in the lights in the roof. And I love this looks so set up, and of course it wasn't, but I love this shot.
Thanks.
And one of the
gorgeous.
things that I thought was cool about Anna coming onto the show was that obviously we know Anna, and a lot of you guys that are watching this, know her from the Google Plus standpoint. And a lot of the times you guys are just kind of goofing off and playing around on the Pinterest thing, but she's a shooter. And that's the part that I think is cool. It's just like, all right, well, it's good to have Anna here from the Pinterest side, but she's a shooter as well, and she's a person that can go out and make images like this. And that's one of the. I was excited about that. I thought it was great.
This is one of my favorites.
This is one of my favorites. This is the only one that I have a critique, but not for you.
It's okay.
For the bride.
What was her critique?
Her shoes are a little blocky. I love the shot.
They were these hot pink wedge shoes. They were awesome.
They probably are, but and I love this shot because it looks like she's twirling. It's like she looks like a princess entering the ballroom with big clunky shoes. That's not an Anna thing, because I love the way you shot it. I love the composition.
That's a great shot.
I love the room that it's in. I'm loving the way you're just blowing everything out there, and I just think it's a terrific shot. So even though
Wait, it's not within the tonal range.
the bride. Wait a minute, it's blown out.
It's
It can't
blown
be
out.
good.
You can't
It's
have pictures like
this
that.
is a technically incorrect shot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
You know, the way I shoot is it's very technical. Like when you go into it, but I'm more about the moment than the shot. Like
Well, it's-
I will push technicality if it can get the shot.
Well, RC was being facetious because what you hear a lot of people do is pick apart a great shot based on some technical thing like
It's not in the rule of thirds.
Yeah, it's not in the rule of thirds. The background's blown out. That's what makes it great. And so anyway, but this is another shot that I thought was I love this moment. I gotta imagine it's the grandmother
Yes.
and the daughter or the bride of
And her
course.
parents.
And her parents in the background. Mm-hmm.
And that's her grandmother's
All right.
parents.
What percentage of your clients? You can be straight with me.
Okay.
What percentage of your clients do the men have ponytails?
Let me think about that. I actually have.
There's a question you didn't think we were going to get asked today, did you? All right. I want
I
you.
think
to,
a lot.
Wait. Don't answer. Don't answer because it's break time. When we come back,
You will have
we're
the
going
answer.
to need a percentage.
That's kind of
Now,
high.
normally
actually.
we would have taken a break a long time ago, but I'm getting so into this. We're going to look at a couple more pictures, and then I want to ask you some advice. We're going to take your questions. So stick around. We will be right back. Anna Nguyen's in the house on the grid. Don't go away.
Here at Kelby Training, we have hundreds of classes and thousands of lessons on all kinds of photography techniques, from beginners to advanced. But if you're just starting out, maybe unboxing your first DSLR, you may not have a clue where to begin. What if you had an opportunity to learn from world-class photography instructors exactly what you need to get started? From the very beginning, with help all along the way. Kelby Training now can give you just that. We're launching an innovative new tool for beginners called Beginners Start Here. It'll lay the foundation needed to understand your camera and walk you through how to capture beautiful images. And the best part is, all you have to do is tell us a little about yourself, such as your camera manufacturer, your DSLR model, and what you're interested in. And we'll design a custom curriculum to help you take your photography to the next level. It's the perfect way to learn at your own pace, on your own time. Plus, with a subscription, you get access to our online training wherever you are, so you can replay specific clips or even repeat the entire class if you'd like. We'll take you step by step, right through the process, so you can start taking good images in no time. And as you grow, we have a huge library of classes on all different kinds of photography techniques that can help you take your photography beyond the basics. So if you're just starting out and itching to turn that mode dial to something other than auto, then this is for you. And we're passionate about teaching you how, every step of the way. Start here at kelbytraining.com.
Hey everybody, we are back here on the grid. RC's filling in for Matt Kloskowski.
What's going
and
on,
our very
Ray?
special in-studio guest is wedding photographer, just all-around
Hi.
cool person, Anna Nguyen. So Anna, when we went to break here just a moment ago, we were asking the percentage of people in your shots, the men in your shots that have a ponytail. And
Like, okay, men's in shots or people I have photographed who are male in ponytails?
I'm gonna let you put it all together in one group.
Oh, God. It's actually pretty high. I think it's like 15%.
15%, that's
I know
a very
one of,
high
One
percentage.
of my grooms for November actually told me he was going to cut his ponytail off for the wedding.
Wow, it's
Wow.
quite a
That's a
bold
commitment
step.
right there. Hey, Alan Hess on the blog just said, I have a beard and a ponytail. I ooze testosterone.
Are you getting married?
Very awkward moment. No,
No,
actually.
he's already married.
He's already married.
All right. Hey, I want to look at a couple more shots
Call me.
here.
I do couple sessions.
Here's a couple more shots here. I thought this was just really slick. I mean, it's just. I love the timelessness of the shot. I love the car, and the house in the background kind of fits the car, and you know what? It's hard to get a clean shot outdoors like this, and it's clean. There's a clean background. And I meant background, clean background outdoors, because usually there's so much junk and there's power lines and cables and all stuff in there, but it's a nice clean shot. I thought it was just very nicely done.
Thanks.
And here's the balloon one, the other balloon one, which looks wonderful at night with the backlighting. Now, we have some questions coming in, but our topic today was going to be, we're going to ask your advice for brand new wedding shooters. So, it's like a lot of people wind up becoming wedding shooters by default, but I just realized I forgot to mention a deal we have. Hold that question. Sorry.
That's all right.
What question?
Hold the thing about the question. Well, I didn't even told you what the question was, which is good. Because I forgot to mention, we have a special deal. So sorry, I just trashed this. I'm looking at the pictures and I'm not, the pictures are very distracting.
I'm sorry.
So peachpitpress.com, they're one of our sponsors. You must stop for your sponsor. Peach Pit Press, they have an e-deal. So they have an e-deal on the Photoshop CC Classroom in a Book, which is a very, very famous series of books used in a lot of classrooms, which is probably why it's called Classroom in a Book. It's by the Adobe Creative Team. And the deal is this. It is 40% off. Go to peachpit.com/KelbyTV, and you're going to enter the coupon code, KelbyTV, and you get 40% off. So the price goes down to $35.99.
Nice.
So that's quite a savings.
That's good.
It is good.
It is good. Thank you very much for the guys at Peach Pit.
Thank you, Peach Pit, and all right.
Peach Pit.
And sorry about breaking the flow there. Now I'm going to break back to Anna. Okay, so a lot of people, what happens? They get pulled into wedding photography because they have a really nice camera. They buy a DSLR, and a friend goes, "Hey, we're getting married. Can you take our pictures?" So if someone's brand new to this, what advice would you give to a brand new shooter? You got a DSLR and you kind of know your way around it, maybe even shooting for a year with your DSLR, and now you've got your first wedding assignment. So what would be your tips for someone that's just getting into it?
Like, that's really funny because I guest speak at FGCU, and a lot of students come up to me and goes, "I'm shooting my first wedding. What should I do?"
Yeah.
I was like, rent a backup camera just in case.
Yeah, because if that thing goes down.
And it will. Like, everything can go wrong on a wedding, and so you have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I just pray nothing happens, and I just bring my emergency kit.
Nice.
But
So what's your emergency kit?
I have an emergency
What's
kit.
in the kit?
I'm gonna do a blog post. It's already written. I just have to take pictures for it. But it's just things that I picked up over the years, shooting weddings, second shooting weddings, assisting for weddings, that I found will keep the timeline in check, but also de-stressify. Like, I guess, is that a word?
It is if you say it.
Okay.
now.
The guest always gets to make up their own words.
Yeah.
It's a rule.
Stressified.
Is that not a rule?
De-stressified?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Is that code for something?
Hey, I Mexicanified something. You can de-stressify something.
That's racist. Oh, you're Mexican. It's okay. All right, go ahead.
Sorry, I make Asian jokes all the time. It's horrible.
It's okay, you're Asian.
But yeah, okay. So
knew
kit.
it.
So you're
So
building a blog post
I
with this kit.
I have a kit, and the photographers I've seconded for, I bring the kit with me, and it has saved me so many times. I keep a small pair of scissors. I keep thread tied to go. The easy, common things. Sewing kit,
Tied
buttons.
together, that's the stuff that takes out spots.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's easy. But then there's other things in the kit that I keep. I keep a, I think it's the crochet hook for some dresses that need to be hooked more quickly with the buttons and the loops.
Mm-hmm.
I keep
crochet hook.
I keep mints in my bag, and I always tell people, it's like, you shouldn't keep gum because one, gum melts. Two, if you give it to a bride or groom, they may forget to spit it out on the way up to the altar. So I provide mints because then they can eat it and they can swallow it, and it's all good. Baby powder is one of my favorites. I actually found this tip off of Pinterest for something completely irrelevant from wedding photography. You just dust a little in between your thighs if you're doing like a beach ceremony or like really heated, like hot temperature wedding, and it keeps it cool. It keeps it from chafing. It was a tip to go to like a theme park. And I was like,
Let's
yeah.
pause on this one for a moment. I think
Uncomfortable moments.
no. I think we need to
Let that
unpack
marinate.
this one. Let's unpack this one.
Okay.
It's
Now-
a really large kit. You should just wait for the blog post.
Your tip was baby powder. So you're the photographer. You're shooting at the beach. You're not putting the baby powder between the bride and groom's legs.
This
You're
is
doing this
furry.
between your own legs.
No, when we're
Oh,
when
theirs.
we're getting ready, I hand them the baby powder and say, you should really put this in between your legs. And they go,
Now, and they just hold that thing there as they walk.
no,
like-
they go into the bathroom, but I
Oh,
had,
they take it out and.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
for the.
Oh.
Gosh, man,
Ow, that just got warm.
you guys are crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no network, so we.
I'm just
say
thinking about
stupid
what's
stuff.
in my kit. Like,
But you're gonna have a blog post about it. We're gonna give them your address.
I want to
go.
see this blog post.
Well, let's do it now.
Yes.
So your website is Zanna. It's ZEEANNA.com. So you can go to zanna.com and they can get to your blog from there.
Yes.
And a lot of the images that we showed today, but more are there.
Yes.
They can contact you there.
So this is zanna.com right here.
There you go. That's her site right there.
Okay, perfect.
And there's your
And
blog
then
and
there's the blog,
portfolio
and this is where we're going to see that.
information.
Yes. And I have a wedding tips section to help brides, and then I'm moving into helping brides and photographers. A lot of it could be repetitive from other blogs, but it's stuff that I've used in the past and I've found to be fast and efficient and to help organize things.
And I just have to say that I think it fits with this entire theme that we were just talking about. This entire, so a couple of people were asking in the comments, like, what was the entire thing about measure baiting? When you're talking, so measure baiting is this concept. Just kind of, I'll bring it to this.
Okay.
It's this concept about the measurements of stuff meaning more than actually doing something. People will buy cameras and worry about the sensor size, the aperture size, the size of the image, the size of this, and they're constantly comparing, nitpicking.
And they're
between
going
the
and
two.
looking at lenses and saying, well, this lens measured such and such in a lab versus this lens and all this kind of stuff.
And you're just like, none of that stuff is important. And as you get into photography, you'll notice that some of the better photographers, some of the best photographers, you go out there and you're like, McNally, what did you shoot this one thing with? And he'll look at you and be like, I don't know. I just thought it was right at the time. And it's always like, you would be surprised as to how much art comes before technical. And in your images, you're looking at this stuff and you're going, these are the images. Did you use a Tokina? Did you use, I don't know. Did you expose this?
I could tell you what camera I used because I went from shooting Sony to now a full Nikon system.
Okay.
And everyone used to go, why do you shoot Sony? I'm like, why not?
Yeah, who
It's a
cares?
Minolta. I mean,
And that's one of those things where it's like, surprise, it's not about the technical side. Now, can you argue of that stuff? Cool, yeah, you could argue it and you could obsess with it and you could over-obsess with it, but some of the best pictures, some of the best moments are done with that. And you look at a blog post like what you're doing right now, and you're like, what do you keep as a backup kit? Well, chances are you guys are watching and you're going, I would keep a second camera and I would keep it this, but I could keep a 50 because this would be, and she's like, baby powder. And guess what? Baby powder could take away your entire wedding. A button,
I'm
a
wearing some
stain,
right now.
a button being loose, a stain, somebody having to deal with something that requires baby powder can derail your entire thing, and you haven't even talked about it again.
yeah,
And you look like a genius because you had that stuff.
Oh my gosh, my brides are like, this is why we keep you around. I'm like, yay. But the whole reason why I have my kit is not necessarily like, as a wedding photographer, even if you're starting out and you can't afford a second body, there are great websites to go where you can rent things that you need. And starting out, if you're going to do this as a business, don't go into debt. Try so hard not to go into debt. It's so easy to be sucked into this, like what Zach Arias calls like gear acquisition syndrome. And that happened with me at first. And I
Gas.
gas.
Because you know what? Next thing you're starting to buy some really big laptop that's like huge in size and it's real super thin and
Carry.
Pretty easy to carry and awesome with the Intel Haswell processor.
But
burn.
my thing is it's not all about
roasted.
it's not all about the gear to me. I mean it does help. Okay. Having the necessary gear does help. But when you get so into the technical side of gear, you lose sight of exactly why you're a photographer, why you shoot what you do. You forget that your bride and your groom or your family or your baby or your product photography or whatever in front of you is more important than what you have in your hand.
And you can get to shooting moments instead of worrying about measurements.
Yeah. Don't
Okay.
get me wrong. Being technically sound is a smart way to go. Like you can't just buy a good camera and then shoot a wedding. My first wedding, I spent 4 months like just researching photographers over and over again, reading up on and shooting every day to try to like prepare myself, thinking, what if I don't get that shot?
Oh, you know what? That's before we go anywhere. That was one of those things that we were asking in the forums. I'm like monitoring all the questions of the forum. I'm not trying to ignore you guys. But one of the things that people had asked was, who do you look for inspiration? Like when you're looking at all of this stuff, who do you go to? Like, is there a person? Like you mentioned Zach. Do you
Who's
go to
your
Zach?
favorite wedding photographer?
Do you have
he
somebody?
is going to be my wedding photographer.
Ooh, and it is?
I will get married in a garbage bag if I can, just to afford him.
Okay, who is it?
It's
Pete Collins.
No, I don't want to say it because he's gonna probably think I'm stalking him.
No, that's okay. It's totally
No,
right.
if you hire him, he won't care.
Yeah, he won't care.
It's
He's all right.
Carrie hears it all the time. It's Ryan Brenneinzer. I think it's Brenneinzer with the long I.
Ryan Brenneinzer.
Brenizer.
So, you know what's happening? Our director right now, Meredith, she's really great about if you like mention something like that. She's in the control room desperately trying to find
I
his
got him.
website. Boom, there it is.
And it's funny how I found him. I was a long-time user of Flickr, and my sister was getting married, and I googled.
Oh, yeah.
I googled like Sacramento wedding photography or something. He popped up, and I was like obsessed. Obsessed.
Oh,
was
I like him.
Plus, I like the way his site lays out.
Yeah. I think they're great sites. Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. While we're talking about this and we're looking at these kinds of moments, there were a couple of other questions that came in.
Wait, I have a question about
Sure.
his work. Scroll down a little further because we've been through quite a number of photos. I don't see any ponytails.
Oh.
So I'm not sure that this is the right guy.
He may not be good for you.
I don't know, Anna.
You might need
It's
Alan
okay.
Hess.
Alan Hess has a ponytail.
Alan Hess
because
will
if
have
anyone
a
shows
ponytail.
up with a ponytail, he can shoot himself.
Yes, that's right. Ooh, I like that shot. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool. You know, that looks like an old noir detective
Yeah.
kind of shot.
I did do a
Ooh,
film.
I like
Love
the
that.
next one.
Yes,
That's
he's
when
shooting my wedding.
Oh, he's
When
shooting.
we get married, that's
Yeah,
what we're doing.
When Kleber and I renew our vows, we just
Oh.
renewed our vows. 20
Yeah.
years. Wow, it goes fast. 4 years ago? It goes
Nice.
fast.
It's okay, you can
25
celebrate
year
again.
Silver one's coming up next
Ooh,
year.
this is cute. Look at this.
Look at that. This guy's good.
Yeah, he's got a
Right?
gift.
He has a gift.
He's got a gift.
This
You.
guy's got a gift. I like
You know,
this guy.
I always get the people who are like, what happens if he's not available? I'm like, I will plan my wedding around him.
Nice. Well, you'll consider him. Now you're on the show. You're famous. So just be like,
I'm
Brian,
not famous.
I'll allow you to
Say,
shoot my wedding.
Brian, I'm considering.
It's
Ryan.
Ryan?
Ryan.
See,
I'm considering
well, see, I see
allowing
the big
you.
B there, right?
Yeah.
You see a big, it says B Ryan. To me, that's Brian.
Brian, you got a logo problem.
You got a logo
Aside from that, you're phenomenal.
because I look at that and you know what it says? Brian
Brian Brennizer.
Brennizer. Brian. B Ryan or yeah.
B. Ryan or
Okay,
Ryan.
so can we take some questions for people are
Yes,
writing in?
absolutely.
I want to ask you more along these lines, but look at the clock. I mean, it's like I can't believe how fast it's gone. But we run over because that's our trademark. But this is not the Pinterest show.
Don't
by
worry,
the
the
way.
Pinterest show runs over like hours.
We don't run over by an hour. We could run over by 30 minutes, but we're not going to today.
Well, we
because
had a
Juan
good
gets
producer
itchy.
to keep us on
Oh,
track.
that's funny. Pete Collins is on for starters.
Oh,
who's in
Pete's on.
vacation? I think he's in London. And Pete just reminded me that we talked to Ryan Brennizer at WPPI when we were in Atlantic
Did you?
City. Yeah.
Did you? Hey, Pete's in London. Why is he watching? What time is it in London?
It is 4 o'clock in the morning. No, it is 11 o'clock at night.
11 o'clock at night.
No one sleeps. You're a
Where's
photographer, you
Glenn
don't
Dewis?
sleep.
Okay,
He's probably
so can we get some questions, RC,
Yep.
for
So
Anna from
one of the things.
people
So
right
one
now?
of the things that somebody asked, Anna, have you ever missed a moment? And if you've missed a moment, what have you done?
Yes. Yes. And when I first started, I was like, well, define moment. Like, is that like the first kiss? Because no, thank God.
But I mean, have you missed the tossing of the garter or the tossing of the bouquet?
Oh, absolutely.
Or the tossing of the
there's,
cookies?
There's always, I always,
Anybody get that?
personally, as a photographer, it's funny you mentioned cookie because I seriously was like, will they just give me a cookie when I get there?
No, you just toss it.
You don't have cookies in the break room?
No.
We
don't
have a green
break
room. If you get here on time, we let you in. Who said that?
Ow! Ow!
There was like a flash fire in
Ouch.
here.
Wait, quick, let her compose herself. Look at
Look
Chachakio.
at camera, quick. Zoom in on tight on Chachakio.
Chachakio,
Ow,
give her a
that
chance to compose
hurt.
herself.
Tight on Chachakio.
This composing moment is brought to you by Chachakio.
Chachakio.
Thank you so much, Carlos, for this. This is the best thing ever. I knew that I would use it at some point just for her to be
And
able to
you're
rub herself,
oxidizing.
rub her burn.
Okay, back. Let's bring it back around, boys. Okay.
Fine. No
All
cookie
right.
for Anna.
So missing the moment.
Well, okay, so most weddings I do have a second photographer that works
Okay.
as also like my assistant. So I like to work as a tandem team. So usually I'll position him in a way and I'll be here. It's like, look, whatever you do, if you miss the moment, I'll get the moment. If I miss the moment, you get the moment.
Okay.
So to me, paying that extra, whatever it is.
And that was one of the other
insurance.
questions that somebody had where they said, I like being a second shooter for weddings, but I don't want to be a primary shooter. I just don't get weddings and the fuss. and somebody had said something about a second shooter. So just explain to us a little bit about first shooter and second shooter. Is
Okay.
there a difference in responsibility? Is there?
As a primary shooter, you're responsible for mostly the entire wedding.
Okay.
What a second shooter does is, for example, if you're following a tight timeline and you are doing the primary photographer will mostly do family formals, like after the ceremony or before. They're responsible for the couple portraits. They're responsible for most of the getting ready. They are basically like, if all goes wrong, like they're the one to be blamed.
Okay, it's not. Is there a list,
They're
or is there like
the
a
primary photographer gets blamed.
The primary photographer, well, that's,
Okay.
let's say, for example, I was shooting a primary wedding and I was a primary photographer and I hired you as my second.
Yep.
You're just like my insurance. So you would be, I'd be like, look, I don't have time. The family formals are from 4 until 4:30, and then their couple sessions from 4:30 till 5:30, depending whatever the timeline is. I will not have time to make it to cocktail hour to do the receptions. Your job is to please cover reception, or cover cocktail hour, and do the reception details until I arrive.
Now, do you have a sheet that you hand this person and you say, these are the things that I want you to cover at the reception, or do you just kind of go,
I used to hire students that wanted to like get into wedding photography.
Okay.
And it was really hard for me because I was like, I had to hold their hand the whole time.
Okay.
So now a lot of primary photographers like second shooting because of the reduced stress.
Okay.
There's not a lot of stress for a second shooter. I second shoot a lot, and I actually really enjoy it.
Okay.
And what I noticed, especially in our area, is a lack of good second shooters. Second shooters that would go out of the way to be really good assistants. We don't. A lot of photographers I know don't have assistants. They either have like their husband wife team who work as a team, or they are a single photographer that they hire out. And most of their seconds, they're like, not a lot of seconds are like you, Anna. They don't pre-set up shots for me. They don't think ahead. They don't make my life easier. And I say, well, what's the whole point in having an assistant if they don't make your life easier?
Right.
Your job as a second assistant or an assistant second shooter is your primary photographer should only focus on the photography.
Right.
Your job is to make sure that they are.
Now, do you have a list as a primary photographer? Does a primary photographer say to himself, well, I've got to get them kissing, the kiss, and then another shot?
Yes.
Or?
Shot list.
I have a shot. When I first started out, I used to give my clients a shot list.
Okay.
And then I realized the client they just know that they're getting certain photos. But if you give them a list, they are going to learn to expect that.
Yeah, they're going to check it off. Where's the picture of the this?
Okay.
Where's the picture
Yes,
of the
and
that?
so it's pretty on average when you're when you're a shooter to shoot like the shoes, the dress. If you're doing getting ready, shoes, dress, cufflinks, jewelry, the shoe dress, and anything that's important to her.
Right.
Plus her getting ready with her girls,
Okay.
photos of the bridesmaid. Like a lot of it is self-explanatory.
Photos of the talcum powder.
Nice. Photos applying.
No, I don't. I used to be in the room when the brides would get ready, like actually like
Medicated
strip and then
powder.
get into their dress.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, do you want me in here? If you don't, just pull it up just above your breast, and then like I'll come in when we do the zip up and stuff.
That would be a very uncomfortable
Anna,
conversation for me.
We don't use the word breast on this show.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what do we use?
That's
breastises.
Breastises.
Breast eye.
The B word.
The B word.
All right, so
Oh, wow.
well, I guess it is a nice advantage if you are a female shooter.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I'm sure they feel much more comfortable with you than Chichakio here popping in the room.
All of a sudden, I'm shooting a wedding, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm totally cool with just staying here. No? Gotta go? Okay.
No?
There have been times where I
go
had
back.
like a male assistant, and they just put them in the corner.
Really?
Hey, nobody puts male assistant in the corner.
Nobody puts
Okay.
Chichakio in the
All right,
corner.
a couple more questions for you, Anna, from the.
Let's see. The role of the second shooter. Let's see. Miss the moment. We've
A lot
talked
about
that.
ponytails.
Yeah, it was about ponytails, and you know what? One of the biggest things that people were talking about, which is the differences between the first and the second shooter, and I think that's one of those things that a lot of people didn't know. But hey, as it turns out, we have time for we have a break.
Oh, we have a break. There's some good stuff. So I want to apologize to our viewers because normally Brad Moore is here. Brad is in Tennessee this week visiting family
That's
and
right,
stuff,
he is.
and negotiating player contracts for the Titans. Anyway, Brad. So and you don't know this, but we have the world's largest TV over here. Normally these questions would come up there in big giant letters because we're old. But
Even when the
Brad's not
camera's in
here.
the way?
So it's well, no, Juan, when he sees us reading, he'll move it out of the way. Now, last week, Rob was here. Rob had absolutely no concept at all that we were looking at it. We're like this, trying to get around it. And he was like trying to think, they're trying to get more jib. We're like, no, less jib. But Juan is a jib. Juan is the original jib certified guy for our
Jib Master
company. Jib Master.
Jib Master.
We call him Jib Master Juan or Magic Juan. Anyway, but so these questions, your questions would normally be coming into us, and we can focus. But what RC's having to do is, they come in so fast. We have two people normally doing it. Pete's usually here. Brad's over there. So I want to apologize to our viewers that we're not getting to your questions like we were normally able to because RC's just isn't that good. Hey, we're going to take a short break.
Wow.
Just kidding, Chachakio. Hey, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have more Anna Nguyen and more stuff about weddings and just more stuff in general, and probably a good sponsor plug. So don't go away. We'll be right back live here on The Grid.
Whether you love to read ebooks on your iPad, consider your Kindle your best friend, or addicted to your Nook, Peach Pit ebooks are for you. When you purchase your ebooks from Peach Pit, you get 3 formats. That means you can easily read them on any device of your choice. Or if you're in the mood to read on your computer, we supply you with the PDF. Head on over to Peach Pit today to get an ebook for 40% off.
Hey, we're back. We were trying to find some questions, but man, that was a short break. You know what the problem with the show is? Breaks aren't long enough. Hey, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, B&H Photo, the greatest people in the world. If you go to New York City, I know everybody orders from them online because, go to bhphoto.com. Everybody orders from them. They're insane. But if you ever get a chance to go to New York and actually go, you ever been to their store in New York?
No, but it's like on my bucket list.
It is. I know it's a photographer bucket list thing. It is just an amazing, amazing place. It's just the most fun. The best thing you can do though is you can actually hire people that will hold your wallet. So you go into B&H because you'll go and when you come out, they'll give it back to you and all your money's in it and everything's intact because they know if you go into B&H with your wallet, you cannot get out of there without buying stuff.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Anyway,
I just ordered something from them.
Did you?
Online.
Yeah, me too.
I love them.
Me too. I just got a lens from them. I got the new, well, it's not new. Well, no, it is new. The 18 to 35.
Really?
So Moose Peterson, don't ever hang out with Moose Peterson. He's like a walking B&H because when you hang around him, you have to buy stuff. So he makes you go to B&H and buy stuff.
He goes,
anyway.
"Oh, meet me at lunch at my workplace."
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so big thanks to B&H for sponsoring the show. You guys are very, very awesome. We appreciate it very much. Go buy everything you can from them. They're awesome people, and they have world-class service, absolutely world-class service.
Now, I did want to bring this up real quick. Don't cut to it just yet.
Don't cut yet.
But we, Anna had mentioned a couple of different things, like when you're doing stuff with weddings and stuff. A lot of the
don't
time,
buy rent?
Don't
Yeah.
buy rent. Don't buy rent. These are the places that we go to for renting. So it would stand to mention that we would talk about them there. The first is Lens Pro to Go. Lens Pro to Go is a great place.
They
Great
are.
website. We rent a lot of stuff from them.
Yeah, we do. We rent
so
stuff all
we
the time.
absolutely love them. And another
And-
place that we go to.
Borrow Lenses.
Borrow
Those
Lenses.
are the only two people I've ever rented from in my whole life. Those two, Borrow Lenses and Lens Pro to Go.
So if
Both
you need
terrific.
to, take advantage of that. Take advantage of going out. Don't get gear acquisition syndrome. Go out and rent. These are the
I know
places
a lot of students will ask me, goes, "How do you know when to buy a lens?" And I said, if you plan on use that lens more than 10 times in the year, then it's worth buying. Because then when you rent for, I think it's like between $50 and $100, sometimes it's more for like a week rental. That adds up. If you rent it 10 times, that's $1,000. That could have bought the lens.
Right, but if you're only going to rent it once or twice, or I think some people will rent a lens to see if they want to buy the lens.
I've done that.
They're like, I don't know if I want to plunk down 20 lenses have gotten so expensive.
I saw something good here. Just a quick comment. Sorry,
Yes.
just want to jump in.
Sure, please do.
Dave D said, if you are a second shooter, do not hand out your own business cards.
Do not.
Fail.
Do not.
Oh yeah, that's
That's good to know. I
Right
just
in
saw
the
it come
hand
in.
that feeds you.
I
Very
saw-
unprofessional.
It's kind of someone had asked me about that. It's like should I hand out my own business cards? I'm like, I always hand my business cards to my seconds and say, usually it's when they ask me, they go, what happens if they ask me about pricing? What if a client asks about where I can buy prints, where I can get CDs, where are the photos going? And I said, just hand them my card and say, contact her. She's always got her email. She'll let you know exactly where everything is. Because it saves you from having to answer something for someone else, like for someone else's business. And doing that is like, it's a very small industry, this wedding photography industry. It's very small, and we all try to help each other out. And we all know each other, and we all share seconds. So you do that, and word gets out. We may not hire you again, and someone else may not hire you.
So, Anna, I have a question for you. How do you, sorry. How do you feel about the bride and groom asking for the negs? Like you shot the wedding, and how often do the bride and groom want like all the images on disc?
Do they ask for them all?
I had a few ask for them, and I just explained to them. I was like, "You really want 5,000 photos of 20 photos of you blinking?" I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Do you want to edit them?" I was like, "I deliver the best photos for you." Like,
Do they get the images printed, or do they get the digital?
They get digital files, and they have printing rights and personal printing and personal usage rights. Usually, and I say, they're great. You can print them anywhere you'd like. If you get anything larger than 11 by 14, a lot of places can't handle that to the highest quality. I was like, you can always come to me, and I will make sure that if you print anything larger than that, it will look best. It was like the best.
Ah, very nice.
Okay, something very, very different. Somebody had asked, how often do you shoot flash in weddings? Are you a flash shooter, or are you?
I like to call it an available light shooter. So it's whenever I feel the light will look best.
Right.
So sometimes I will shoot flash.
Okay.
I will shoot flash. I'm not afraid of shooting flash. I'll shoot video lights. I'll shoot flashlights. I'll shoot iPhone light. I'll shoot whatever light is necessary to improve my photo.
Okay.
The best thing you can do as a photographer is to really learn to see light so that you know when to add it and when to take it away.
Okay. Now, what kind of equipment do you normally use in a wedding? Like, is there like any
what's your standard
go-to
loadout?
equipment or?
Okay, so someone asked me what my favorite lens was the other week, and I said, I shoot with the Nikon D600.
Okay.
And I have currently all primes. I have a Sigma 24, a Nikon 50, and a Nikon 85. And that's my go-to.
That's the
my
loadout
go-to
kit.
kit.
Is it 85-1.4 or 85-1.8?
I have both the 1.4D and the 1.8G.
Okay.
And it all comes down to like personal preference. The 1.4 is really heavy, and if I'm like going, I just want to go. And usually I shoot around like 2.0, like 2.8. So it's like.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
That's exactly how I feel. Like whenever I load out, I usually just B23R, no secondary weapon, lightweight.
That's Call of Duty. Sorry.
A wedding is like a battlefield sometimes. I love to get into the reception and just be in the dance floor.
All right, so then those
I
three
got a
lenses in
question.
your camera?
All right.
That's it. You out.
We don't have
Oh,
much
and my
time, and I
flashes.
got a question I got to know about.
Okay.
What happens when you go to a wedding, and everybody has, I just went to a wedding, my wife and I just went to a wedding a couple weeks ago, and there were 200 cameras in the room, right? There's 200 guests and there's 200 cameras. Have you had anybody really like kind of get in your way, like try to be the unpaid wedding photographer?
Yes. But I handled them in a different way, because I went to a wedding as a photographer once, and I was just starting out, and I brought my camera, and the wedding photographer I went to, I paid money, like big money to go to this wedding, like from travel to hotel to, shipping everything, and I was going for a vacation. And this person was like so mean to us at the table. She was like giving us dirty looks, like this was in their contract. They couldn't bring their cameras. They couldn't do anything. And coming from a guest, I knew right there, it's like these people are the most important people to my client. My client, I expressed to my client, please let your family know that I am the hired help, that I'm not afraid to let them use the camera. Just please do not let them get in the way. And if they are in the way, like for example, I had a father who flew all the way from Germany to watch his daughter get married. Her parents were divorced, and he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I got the getting ready, so you can just relax." And I just go, "You know what? Thank you so much. But I want to make sure I have it on my end, just to make sure that we have double the photos for her."
Yeah.
Like there's ways to
put them on your
approach
side.
To approach. It's better to make friends than it is to make enemies.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of horror stories about that. I was wondering.
And then if they're really adamant about it, you just tell them, hey, you know what? Just watch for me. And if I need to go in the way, do you mind if I kind of push you out of the way? Because they want you here to enjoy yourself.
Oh, that's good. Some other tips that you would give for first-time wedding shooters. You've already talked about making sure you have a backup camera, making sure you have a little a kit. You think having a second shooter is really important?
I think breathing is very important. It's very stressful. It takes a very special person to be a wedding photographer. Like, you have to really want it. And what
So
I've noticed...
You're saying you're special. Is that what you're saying?
I think I want to say I like to suffer and stress out. I don't know.
That's special.
That is special.
I don't
Jockey is
sleep. I
special.
mean, okay, be prepared. You're not going to get rich being a wedding photographer. You're not going to be rich being a photographer. You have to really love what you do. And brides and grooms that are worth it and who make you want to do this over and over again, day after day, they're going to see that passion. And it's really important to have passion. If you want to be a wedding photographer, really want to be a wedding photographer. You really want to be a product photographer, be a product photographer. And look at your favorite photographers. Pick the top 5 and that your favorite, and just study their stuff, because you're going to notice, like, over and over what traits they each have. Why are they successful? Because they persevere. They focus on being innovative. They really move forward in their craft, and they try to make friends. They teach. You know, those are the traits that you should look for if you want to be a successful wedding photographer. Is what if, you can have, those are what I found in my favorite wedding photographers. You can have 5 totally different ones, as long as I can identify things that these photographers are doing that are making them successful, and then apply that to yourself.
Very deep.
I
No,
like
that was
it.
good. Thank you.
Thanks.
I like
All right, now we really have to go. We've kind of run out of time. But Anna, you were great. Thank you so much. People can go to Zeeanna, Zeeanna, to find more about you.
Yes.
See your work. Check out your blog.
I have it
You
right
got
here.
a blog post coming up.
Yes.
On your kit, the contents of your kit.
Yes.
The full contents of your kit.
And it gets added every day. Like, I think that the very top one was, I just posted that. It's a vendor list.
Oh,
So what
For a
does
bride.
this do?
Okay, so I have 2 of them so far. So I have a free download of the wedding vendors list, and this is encouraging brides to provide for all their vendors the contact information and website to everyone who's in their wedding party, like who's servicing their wedding. And it gives the vendors an opportunity to, if they are going to publish this work, they have all the vendors' information. If for some reason the flowers aren't coming right away, or they need to make a change, the photographer, videographer, whoever can call this vendor.
Oh, that's good. Very clever.
I also have another one. It's that I
further?
posted. It's the family formals checklist. I'm actually quite proud of that one.
Nice.
A bride actually helped me. She gave me a list of the most important people that needed to be taken during the family formals. That's like the most stressful time for a photographer, because you're trying to get all these people into like a group family shot to look at you and not like mess around. And
All right, I must find this now.
go up to
There we
go
go.
up to Spotlight,
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
and you go all the way down to wedding tips.
Wedding tips. Because I know everybody in the chat room is going to be like,
go to the
I
first
want that list.
Right there. It's a free download. No, the other one. The
This
with-
one?
Yep,
Right here?
Shot.
Oh, great. So anyway, so go to Spotlight. You're going to see wedding tips. Under wedding tips, go to the full post.
And you'll see all these.
And then from here, this
You
is
have
where
the
we're going
vendors
to...
checklist.
Yeah, you went on. You clicked the wrong one.
Okay, sorry. I'm
Sorry,
going
I
to
only
go back
have 2. I just started this.
I'm going to go back. Oh, and we crashed your server.
And we crashed your server. Oh, you know what? There was one more thing.
I'll have to
wanted-
tell my webmaster about that. He's sitting over there next to Calibra.
Oh, okay. God, there was one more thing I wanted to
And
ask
there goes
before
the
we
site.
went, and what was it about?
Okay, all right. Spotlight. Under Spotlight, go to wedding tips. Under wedding tips, come on, baby.
Go to the first one.
Come on. Not everybody hit it at the same time. Just take
Don't
breaks.
get excited.
It's, yeah, wow.
You know, and usually I get like very little like views.
Okay, so here, wedding formals checklist. This one, right?
Yes.
Click on view post. Ooh,
Uh-oh.
It's been...
Time to get
Anyway,
that.
it's a free download.
It'll be
and
there.
Master.
So-
It basically says, like bridegroom, wedding party, bridegroom, wedding party sans flower girl, bridegroom, mom, dad. And I always encourage my brides and grooms to give me their parents' names and the names of their wedding party, because I read this book called, everyone knows about it. It's How to Make Friends and Influence People. And one of the ones that stuck with me is The Power of Your Name. And you ask someone for their name and you say it over and over again, and they want to do things with you. They want to do things for you. Because you're not calling them Mother of the bride. You're saying, Jan, can you please stand here next to your son George for me, please?
Next to your brother Chichakio.
Chichakio, yeah. And
You
just-
missed the Chichakio thing. It was just us being dumb.
It's okay. You know what? I helped one of my friends make a Barbie doll for his girlfriend that was just of like her, like a doll of her. So
That's awesome.
I'm not. That's what she said.
Yeah, I wonder why. Hey, Anna, I did have one question. You're on Pinterest a lot. You're on the Pinterest show and all.
Yes.
Do you use Pinterest in your photography at all?
Yes.
Okay, how are you using Pinterest?
I'm using Pinterest for, I'm not using it for the followers. I'm not using it for any of the SEO perks. I'm using it to post my own work. I'm using it to find inspiration, find new photographers, and, more personal matters, cook, clean, organize my house, get fit, buy clothes.
Okay, very cool.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Are you on Twitter?
I am, but I'm not as much on it. You can
All
still
right,
follow me.
G+, you're big on G+.
Yes, G+ and Facebook.
All right, and how do they find you on G+? Good luck.
Anna Nguyen. Nguyen.
I'm doing it right now.
Here he
Anna.
goes.
So
And-
right.
and- all
We'll
right.
go here. ANA.
There I am. It's
There you
the
are.
balloons.
Nguyen.
There we go.
There it is. That's you on
then
G+.
if you want your website, ziana.com.
All right. Well, Anna, thank you so much. You were very
Thank you
terrific
so
and
much for
awesome.
having
We're glad you
me.
got here safely. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to RC and his many brothers. And thanks to you guys for watching. We will see you guys again.
Very, very soon.
Thank you, RC, for being
You're welcome.
filling in for Matt.
Thank you
did
very
a
much.
Very, very good job.
A bunch of comments that came in actually before we leave. People keep asking about the laptop. You want to see more about the laptop? It's this thing. Go to razorzone.com. That's the laptop. Go to
Can you
products.
go to RC? There you go.
Go to systems, and this is the thing that we were using. So people just keep asking, what is it? What is it? What is it? This is what you're going to do. But anyway, yeah, thanks for having me, man. It was cool. I like coming on.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Thanks, Anna.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by InPix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. On One Software, focused on photography. Peach Pit Press, publishers of technology books, ebooks, and videos for creative people. Epson, exceed your vision. Expo Imaging, rogue flash benders for speedlight enthusiasts. Intel, the power you need for hardcore creatives. Squarespace, everything you need to create an exceptional photography website. And B&H Photo, the professional source.